morning everybody and welcome back to Chiapas. Today we're actually going on our first excursion. Our destinations today are the towering waterfalls of El Chiflon and the Lagunas de Montebello National Park, which is located pretty much at the border of Guatemala. So if we're lucky today, we might even set foot into the country, we'll see.
So while we prefer to set out and explore on our own most of the time, in some places it's just a lot easier to book on a tour, and Chiapas is definitely one of those places. There's a tour agency on every corner in San Cristobal offering tours around the state, so shop around to try to find the best deal for what you're after. So we hopped in our tour bus and began the 2.5-hour drive to our first stop, the El Chiflon Waterfalls.
So we've arrived at the El Chiflon waterfall now, and we're hiking up about 1.5 kilometers past a series of waterfalls to get to the main one, which is called the Bride's Veil, and it's supposed to be spectacular, about 120 meters tall.
After a short walk, you'll arrive to the first small waterfall called El Suspiro. You won't get the best view of the waterfall from the platform, but it is a nice little warm-up for the main event later. The colour of the water along this whole stretch of river is amazing, and it took us right back to the Huasteca Potosina earlier in our trip. The next stop you'll come to is the beautiful Mariposa waterfall, which flows into a gorgeous aqua blue pool below. It's well worth it to stop, rest and admire this waterfall before continuing on. And then you'll finally get your first glimpse of Velo de Novia, and trust us when we say that it will definitely leave you speechless.
So we're just leaving Chiflon now. It was one of the most incredible waterfalls I think we've ever seen.
Probably our favourite, definitely.
Yeah. The colours are just spectacular.
Even probably beats Niagara Falls.
Yeah, no, it is incredible. Our next stop is another hour and 45 minutes drive, but we're heading
it's a long day.
All the way down to the Guatemala border to visit the Lagunas de Montebello.
It's supposed to be very pretty as well, so we're very excited about it. I don't know if it will beat the view of this waterfall. We'll see. So we arrived to Lagunas de Montebello, and as you can see, we
can't see very much.
Very lucky. It's pretty foggy today.
It was crazy. Like, it's been beautiful all day, and we just arrived to like the border of the lagoons, and this thick blanket of fog just like covered everything immediately. It's probably something to do with all the water here and the moisture.
It is kind of moody and mysterious, but at the same time would have enjoyed seeing it.
We've seen pictures of it, like when it's clear blue sky and the water's just crystal clear and sparkling. Looks amazing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make the most of it anyway.
So you also had the chance to take a small wooden boat out onto the lake for an extra 200 pesos per person. This looked really cool, but because of the poor visibility, we decided not to do it on this occasion, and instead we settled down for a very nice lunch and warm hot chocolate before leaving the lake and making our way to the very exciting final stop of the tour. Let's go to Guatemala.
So that marker just there is the marker. Mexico is on this side, Guatemala is on this side, and this lake is called the International Lake. The border splits right through the lake up this way, and we are literally standing just inside of Mexico. That is the border. Okay, we're going to step into a new country together. And we're in Guatemala. That was a pretty cool experience, like being able to just walk into another country. I don't think we've ever done that before.
I don't think I've ever walked into a different country.
So very, very cool. We're about to leave the Montebello lakes. Obviously the weather hasn't been perfect, but we've spent about 3.5 hours here, I think. And, you know, even though the weather's not been great, we've had some really cool shots, really moody sort of weather. So it's definitely worth coming. We're going to be getting back in the bus now, heading back to San Cris. We'll catch up with you when we get back.
Good morning everybody. Today we're going on our second tour and our destination is the epic Sumidero Canyon National Park.
Yeah, we've opted from a tour from San Cristobal again just because we think it's going to be much easier logistically. You can do this one by public transport, but again you have to get collectivos, probably a little bit cheaper in the long run, but also a lot more difficult and confusing. So we just opted for the tour because we had a good experience last time.
Our first stops were up at the Viewpoints along the top of the canyon, and after a 90-minute drive through some beautiful scenery, we made it to the first one called La Coyota, and the size and scale of the canyon immediately blew us away. This 13-kilometer stretch of canyon began being formed around the same time as the Grand Canyon and has vertical cliff walls as high as 1,000 meters in places. The boats on the river looked absolutely tiny, and you certainly feel small standing at the edge of this incredible place.
So after enjoying the stunning views from the different lookout points, we hopped back in the van and made our way to the docks where we would board the boat that would take us through the canyon. After seeing it from above, we were super excited to get a different perspective from the water. After a quick stop for refreshments, we were on our way, and what a journey it was.
As we entered the canyon, the cliff walls began to tower above us, making us feel small all over again. The canyon was definitely no less impressive and immense from below as it was from above. Along our journey through the canyon, we saw a huge dried up waterfall that pours water down into the canyon during the rainy season. We definitely got right up underneath it.
Our next stop was a huge cave with a small shrine inside, and unfortunately a whole lot of garbage drifting outside. Thankfully, this was the only place in the canyon we saw this amount of pollution though. Our final stop was to see the area of the canyon that the crocodiles call home. Seeing these prehistoric animals so close in their natural habitat was a really amazing experience and a little bit of a nerve-wracking one. We also saw a cute little monkey though to even it out.
We disembarked at the Pueblo Magico, Chiapa de Corzo, where we were given a few hours to wander around and explore this cute little Mexican town, which was a great end to an action-packed day.